day, the sun beat down. I had the radio on, I was driving. Trees flew by, me and Del were singing Little Runaway. I was flying, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery, going wherever it leads, running down a dream. Whoa, whoa, yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Running down a dream. Oh, yeah, running down a dream.
Coming to the green flag, the Overton's 400 underway.
A little surprise right there for Ryan Blaney to be able to clear his teammate. Menard on the back straightaway. Thought Menard would be able to get around Ryan there and get the lead, but now Menard's battling for second place with Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott trying to take that spot right away. Menard falling back just a bit. Down to the apron they go. Elliott takes second. Everyone chasing Ryan Blaney.
That track position for Chase is critical, even that one position. I think that he can have an amazing day today if he can keep this type of track position. If he loses this track position early, it'll be hard for him to get back into the top 5.
Paul Menard not the start he wanted as we ride along with Kurt Busch. You hear it hitting the racetrack. This track is exceptionally rough. Drove down in turn 3, bottomed out.
Still 2x2 fighting for positions. You see Kevin Harvick trying to move toward the front after a less than perfect qualifying run yesterday.
That fight for track position that Junior just talked about, it happens right now. All these positions matter. It's so difficult to pass. It looks to me like the bottom of 3 and 4 right now may be better. See if Kevin Harvick can clear him. 20 car of Eric Jones, he's able to clear him. 1 and 2, I think you can maybe migrate to the top a little quicker than you can at 3 and 4.
3 wide for position. Eric Jones on the high side. McMurray right in the middle. William Byron in the 24. He chooses the apron that time by.
We saw it yesterday in the Xfinity race. The bottom was the quickest for about 20 laps. We see Larson already up on the high side. It took him about 20 laps before he really started to work that outside Xfinity race yesterday.
Well, Larson isn't the only one at the top of the racetrack. We mentioned the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. started all the way back outside the top 35. It looks calm right here. Well, that's because he's already driven himself up to the 19th position. He has passed a bunch of cars already, 11 cars already, now working on the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger in front of him. Doing a great job recovering.
Let's see if Jamie McMurray can make the outside work. See that run he gets on corner exit. He's going to get to the outside of Eric Jones. Eric has nothing he can do. Kyle Larson's going to try to make that move with him. Marty.
And Jeff, it might be simply stated, but Martin Truex Jr. told me before the race, he said if we're going to get to the front, we need to be able to work on the bottom or the top. We've seen him do that both here in the first 5 laps, but he told me in this first stage, I expect to score points. So he expects to be in the top 10 before this first stage is over with. But Jeff, you got to be able to work everywhere on the racetrack if you want to come from the back to the front.
Well, that's exactly right, but that's one of the great things about this racetrack. You can use every groove. If you catch somebody there on the bottom, go to the top. The only difficult part about that, Junior, is your car's got to let you do it. If your car's not good enough on the top, it won't work. So a good handling car and a driver willing to go there, this is a great racetrack.
Little bobble there out of the 78. Martin Truex Jr. as he continues to climb up the board.
Well, you heard that the 78 wanted to score points. Well, it's also a battle within him and the other big 3. But look, right up ahead of him, 5 or 6 cars, the 18 of Kyle Busch. It has not been the smoothest weekend for the 18, just been okay. Not showed the blinding speed he showed at other racetracks. I know there's still 5 cars between him, but Dale, if that 78 can catch the 18, that's going to be the first move on the chessboard. Look, I started in the back, I'm already here.
Yeah, you wonder if Truex and the big three, as we call it. You wonder if those guys really look at the other competitors the same as they look at themselves. And so Martin knows that the 18 and the 4 car are the guys he's going to have to probably contend for the win today. That's the way it's been all season. So if he can go ahead and get a position on the 18 early, that'll make his day a little bit easier going forward. He's getting there. He's catching him quick. See the biggest movers.
78's on that list. He's already made up 12 spots, passing one of the harder guys to pass on a racetrack in Ryan Newman in the 31. He's able to get by, chasing after the 3 of Austin Dillon just in front of him.
Denny Hamlin on that list. He's a guy move going forward. He's had some great runs here, one here in the past.
Look how Martin's able to just drive in the corner just harder. He just can drive in the corner harder than Austin Dillon in that 3 car and just go to the throttle sooner. And that's kind of an easy pass right now. As good as his car is handling, Austin just couldn't put up any fight whatsoever.
A little bit different schedule this weekend. Had technical inspection after qualifying. That's why we see some of these cars that we would have expected to be up toward the front starting in the back because they failed tech inspection. So that's why Martin Truex Jr. is fighting now to try to get through this traffic to get up front.
We're going to take a look at Denny Hamlin. He's carrying the helmet cam for NBC today. We're going to take a ride with him down the back straightaway. It was pretty close right there off turn 2. This track is real bumpy. We're going to go down to turn 3, and he runs the bottom groove here. So actually run the middle, but there's still a pretty good bump right across the tunnel. Boom, right there, you see it. Almost feels like it knocks his head off his shoulders. Coming off of turn 4, these guys are racing. It's a fun race. He's wanting to get a little bit of this when he gets up in there, but down the front straightaway, there's another bump going into turn 1. Feel that right there. It's like driving off a set of stairs. It's not a dip, it's really a ledge. And if you lift improperly or at the wrong time across that bump, you can lose the nose or lose the back of the car. Same thing in 3 and 4. If you go across that bump wrong, we saw it yesterday in qualifying. Fast cars having some trouble. We got a battle for second here. Chase Elliott making a move on Clint Boyer on the outside.
Clint Boyer has been moving forward now in that 14, trying to get by the 9 to take that spot away. Out front, Ryan Blaney. Clint Boyer hugging that white line right along the apron. Chase Elliott trying in the middle of the racetrack to keep the momentum up. And they stay door to door.
I love that outside line. I'm thinking Chase is going to get this position, even though Boyer's the one driving up there to get it. I think the outside lines have got to be coming in here sooner or later. We're at lap 12.
I talked to Clint Boyer this morning. He told me that he thinks the bottom is going to win this race. He was convinced that the top was going to go away, and he worked exceptionally hard to make his car work on the bottom. It's working for him right now.
Ryan Blaney, the 24-year-old of High Point, North Carolina, leading at Chicagoland. Very tight battle for the lead. Ryan Blaney just in front of Clint Boyer. And it continues to heat up on the racetrack. Clint Boyer looking so strong as he's been able to power his way back up here to the front and fight now for the lead with Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Boyer ran Blaney down and had a great shot to pass him. They caught some lap traffic, and that stopped the pass. Now Blaney's changed his line. He says, you know what, I got to try something different. Boyer's digging on the bottom. Can he clear him getting into one?
Here he goes. He's got the inside line. That's where he's been making up all his ground. Let's see if he can complete the pass. Boyer to the front in Chicago.
That's impressive. He's done all this work on the bottom of the racetrack. We got guys back in the pack making great time, but they're all doing it on the fence. Nobody's making the speed on the bottom groove like Clint Boyer right now.
So right now, Junior, I think what's difficult for Boyer is we know Kyle Larson's coming from behind. He's running exceptionally fast in sixth position against the wall. Does your spotter say, look, dude, I know you're leading the race, but you got to change your line because Larson's coming. How do you handle that?
I would wait till Larson hits a little closer, at least where I can see him, before I really started worrying about it. But I love that my car is working so well on the bottom. I think that's where you're going to race at the end. You know, the last several laps we get some cautions late in the race on short runs and new tires. The bottom is going to be the fastest. The fact that Clint's car is so good, he's got to be loving the way his car's driving right now. Marty.
And you see Kyle Larson working that bottom, guys. Yesterday in the Xfinity Series race, he started last, came to the front to get the win. He used the top mostly, and he told me, I feel pretty good about my chances to go back-to-back here at Chicagoland. But you see what he told me? The bottom is going to be the key today. So, Junior, you mentioned a moment ago, you think to win this race, you've got to be on the bottom. He said Clint Boyer thinks you got to be on the bottom. The man who loves the high line the most, Kyle Larson, agrees the bottom best way at Chicagoland today.
Yeah, the bottom is going to work great at the start, and then, you know, the guys are going to be, fast up high later in the run. Nobody's going to be on new tires and run the fence and win the race. I mean, that's not going to be the fastest way around. It's going to be on the bottom, and got a big three battle here.
Well, we talked about the 78. He started shotgun on the field. He's already overtaken Kyle Busch in the 18. Proved the point to him. Now he's run the 4 of Kevin Harvick down. For what position? 10th. He said he wanted to score points in the first stage. Well, Rick, he's already working himself into the top 10 as he gets underneath Kevin Harvick.
And he has put down some impressive lap times. It's been between the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. and the 42 of Kyle Larson. Those two have been fighting for who turns the fastest laps and running two different lines around this racetrack.
And this is something we see from Kevin Harvick, right? When he starts in the back, he charges to the front. Well, now somebody took it to him. Martin Truex started in the back, and he just passed him for that 10th position. So Harvick right now, he knows he's got to make his car a lot better. Not a little bit better, a lot better.
This is some awesome racing right here, man. We got 4 cars battling for position. I did not see the speed in Truex's car during practice. Cole Pern said don't worry about it. He ain't worried about speed. He's worried about feel. Looks like that plan's working out really good right now. Truex seems real comfortable. Marty.
And, Junior, you talk about that quiet confidence the 78 team has, even when they had the penalty and they left the racetrack at 9:51 last night after they finally got through inspection. There was no panic on this race team. Colburn told me, listen, we came from the back in this race to win last year as we're watching a battle for second twice to be able to win that race. After a penalty, then we had loose lug nuts. So us starting in the back was no big deal, and they're proving it on the racetrack right now. And this battle for second, Rick, really heating up here. Blaney trying to keep it.
Yeah, Kurt Busch on the inside tries to take that spot away. A little bobble there at Ryan Blaney up against the fence. And that will be Kurt Busch's position now as we see Eric Almirola now taking a shot at that 12 and trying to take his position away as well.
And what a good job by Eric Almirola. We've talked about it all year long. First year in that car, has driven it toward the front, having a really good year, but he wants to have a great year. He doesn't want to be the guy at Stewart Haas that hasn't won. These two guys, Kurt Busch, and Eric Almirola, they're the two that haven't won there. They want to try to find a way to get in victory lane. Dave.
Hey, Jeff, remember the beginning of the year for Kurt Busch started with a new crew chief in Billy Scott. But Billy told me this morning we knew what Kurt wanted before the season started. A Vegas winter test told us everything we needed to know about what this driver wanted for speed. He said now it's just been a matter of getting it week to week and executing. He still doesn't have that playoff making win yet, but they're getting closer for their driver 41, Kelly.
Well, his teammate Eric Almirola, not just a new crew chief, a whole new team for him. They've certainly exceeded some people's expectations. When I talked to his crew chief, Johnny Klossmeyer, today, he said, look, the biggest area that we need to improve is on our qualifying and on restarts. Well, qualifying today, they started this one 6th. They feel like they've got a good long-run speed car. They said it's also going to have to be versatile. They feel like there were times that this track will command for the drivers to move up top to find the most speed.
There's comers and goers in this race. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. about ready to take over the spot from Chase Elliott. Remember, Chase Elliott was up there fighting for the lead early. Martin Truex Jr. started in the back. They're meeting right now at about the 7th position. And there it is. The pass has been made. Martin Truex Jr. now by the 9 of Chase Elliott. He continues to move up. He's 7th now. NASCAR Drive, that's your race companion. You can watch and ride along with in-car video of your favorite drivers. You can even watch multiple angles all at once. Never miss a lap with NASCAR Drive. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/drive. You're watching Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway. Clint Bowyer out front. Coming up this Friday on Today, one of country music's biggest acts, Lady Antebellum, live on the Plaza. That's only on Today. A couple laps ago, Landon Castle had some issues on the track, had to come to pit road, but no issues for the 14 of Clint Bowyer. He's running strong, Kelly.
Yeah, and he continues to run the bottom of the racetrack. He told me that he thinks he can run better there this year than he has been able to the last 3-4 years. And his crew chief, Mike Bunderavich, told me, hey, we better be running the bottom because we never moved off of it during practice. So if we have to, we really don't know what to expect. Clint hasn't said anything about his car. And right now, they just asked him just now, are you happy in there? And he said, yep. His only issue is that his digital dash has gotten a bit messed up, so he doesn't have any of his lap times. They're reading them out to him lap by lap.
This success may be because of Thomas Selby. He wrote a letter to Clint Bowyer and actually sent him his gold medal that he won in the tournament that qualified for the Winter World Games for the Special Olympics. Clint was so impressed He tweeted about it and he said, "This inspires me. This is what I like." And right now, Clint Bowyer out winning this race. There's that tweet. I didn't say the end there. Let's all kick some butt this week, but that's exactly what he's doing to this field, and he's crediting Thomas Selby.
That's great, where you can get inspiration. 78 on pit road.
Green flag pit stops underway. 78 on pit road now.
And here he comes down pit road, Rick, and this is the teams really kind of splitting this first stage in half. It's an 80-lap stage, so you have 7 sets available to these teams, and tires do mean something as they push Landon Castle's car off of pit road. Truex comes to a stop in his stall. Clearly no changes, very happy with the handling of the 78 car, just a little bit free. They are going to make a very slight air pressure adjustment, but no chassis changes. 4 fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. So Steve, I think this is going to bring more cars down pit road because tires mean a ton here at Chicagoland.
Absolutely, Marty, and I like the 78 pitting early, not just for the strategy on track, but you mentioned about the issue on pit road stacked in there next to the 12, the 42, the 11. The advantage of pitting early is he knew he had to clean in and out for his pit stop. Kelly?
Now you see the crew of Eric Jones in that 20 car going to work. Eric saying that he was just tight in the center of the turn and loose a little bit off. We'll see how those 4 fresh Goodyears help him out.
Eric Jones coming out of his pit stall. Again, green flag pit stop cycling through now, bringing down, you see the 42 of Kyle Larson. Ryan Blaney also down there. Almirola has moved up to second now. Boyer's still out on the track. Marty.
Kyle Larson is going to come to his stop in his stall right in front of him. Ryan Blaney with just 1 stall between the two of them. Larson said he was a little bit too free, but didn't want to make a big swing at it. It's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear tires, a slight air pressure adjustment. How calm are these drivers? As Ryan Blaney was racing for the lead, he was giving a report to his team on how the car was handling. He said it was too free for him. They put a piece of tape on the grill and also made an air pressure adjustment. And Paul Menard, with the very first pit stall on pit road, said he was working the track bar hard inside the car. He was free in the middle of that run. We got too tight on exit at the end of the run.
Kurt Busch, part of the 3-car Stewart Haas Racing triumvirate at the front of the pack. He came down pit road for a car that was just a little bit tight, needed Sunoco fuel, needed fresh Goodyear tires, and now Kurt is back out. Kelly, Marty?
Joey Logano on pit road made some decent progress. He said his car got too free at the end of that run, though. They did make a wedge adjustment. He, too, said he was working the track bar and had to make some drastic changes on the track bar throughout that run. Kelly?
There's the 14 of Clint Bowyer, who made quick work getting to the front of this field, and he was excited about his race car over the radio. As I said, the only issue, that digital dash, which they could not reset while he was out on track. They were going to try to reset it while he was here on pit road.
Been a nice day for William Byron, I should say. A nice weekend for William Byron. Made the 3rd round in qualifying. That was a big goal for the race team. And as he told us in the pre-race show, feels like the team has made some big improvements. The car too free for William the further he runs, so they're going to make a wedge adjustment. Also an air pressure adjustment, trying to tighten up that 24 car.
One thing these teams don't want to do on pit road is have any kind of violations, and the 19 team of Daniel Suarez had a man over the wall too soon.
Oh, the 14 car.
14 speeding.
The leader, Clint Bowyer.
So he'll have to do a pass-through penalty, as the 19 of Daniel Suarez is suffering that penalty right now doing the pass-through. Brad Keselowski scored as the race leader up front. Kyle Busch running second. Hamlin has now moved up to the 2nd spot, moving Kyle Busch back to 3rd. Kyle Busch in his pit stall.
And he patiently worked his way up from his 16th place starting position to back inside the top 5. His crew chief Adam Stevens telling me that patience would be the key word today, because they couldn't burn off their tires trying to work their way to the front too quickly. He's got 4 fresh Goodyear Sunoco fuel, and he's on his way.
A little over a handful of cars that still have not come to pit road yet. One of those being Brad Keselowski, who's out front, Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, David Reagan, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, and Ty Dillon still to have their services completed. And as this continues to cycle through, how long will Brad Keselowski stay out on the racetrack? Marty.
And Rick, that's That's a great question. And Steve, we have seen this time and time again from Paul Wolf and Brad Keselowski, also the guy running in second, Denny Hamlin, and his crew chief Mike Wheeler. Sometimes when teams come to pit road, they'll say, you know what, too many people on pit road, let's wait a little while. They're trying to stretch this out a little bit further. Paul was going to come pit road, he told me before the race, at like lap 35. They were the first team on the wall to come to pit road, but they've decided to stretch it out here and see what happens, Kelly.
The 48 and Jimmy Johnson is made his way to pit road. Jimmy saying that he was just tight off the turns. He was tight getting onto the throttle, but he said running up top was okay. 4 good years.
Great shot right here. In-car camera coming down pit road with Denny Hamlin. He's looking for his sign, trying to find it. The spotter's telling him 2 away, 3 away. That's his key to start looking. Try to hit your left front headlight on an 11. Now car goes in neutral. Keep the car running. Don't let it stall. Car's up on the right side. You feel it's up. The minute you feel it drop, there it goes. Put it in gear. That way the left rear tire's not turning when the guys are trying to put lug nuts on it. Now you're waiting for the jack to fall. As soon as it falls, go, go, go. Spin the tires. Make sure you're clear. Do not speed. Pit stop looks easy, but actually doing it's very difficult.
That only took 12 seconds, Jeff. Things happen very quickly on pit road. We have seen before where Denny Hamlin, maybe a little rambunctious on pit road, has a few more speeding penalties than most. They've been working on that. Yesterday they talked about the throttle being a little harder, the spring in the throttle a little harder for him to push. Maybe that was the issue that they had. They've been working on that.
And Rick, the 14 car did what you cannot do. He got busted for speeding the first time. That's okay. He came down the second time and got busted again.
On his pass.
So clearly they have some kind of a problem, Marty.
And Paul Wolf reminded Brad Keselowski that whatever you do, do not speed. When he came in, they had a big piece of debris on the grill. They're going to clear that. He said temps were just gotten 2 over, meaning 2 over optimum temperature. He said the car just too free. It's going to be an air pressure adjustment trying to tighten them up, get that grill clean, get that debris off, and get the temperatures to come down as well.
Continuing to cycle through green flag pit stop. Austin Dillon up front. Let's listen into the 14 radio.
Do a stop and go now. Mercedes man again. Now we have to do a stop and go. We're going to have to knock some RPMs off here or do something completely different. Something obviously not live.
So pit road is broken down into speeding zones, Steve. It's broken down in sections. Both times he's gotten busted in the shortest section on pit road, the very last section going onto the racetrack, is only 42 feet long, Steve, and that's where he's gotten busted twice.
Preparation, Jeff. This is the most speeding of any racetrack in the series. Kelly.
Well, Steve, the word from the team at first was that digital dash issue should have had no effect on his speeding on pit road, but now just a second ago it sounded like they said they were having some issues with the RPM, so there is some issue that they need to get worked out with this 14 car.
So that makes a little more sense. Remember, early Kelly said that he did not have his lap time. That comes through that system as well. Sounds like there must be an issue with his dash. I mean, I can't imagine back-to-back speeding penalties, Jeff.
So listen, the reason he was back on pit road again, Steve, was because the second penalty is a stop and go. He didn't stop. He just did it like it was a pass-through. So then he had to come back in again and do a stop and go.
He's already, 2 laps. Now 3 laps. He's going to be down. Clint Boyer, after leading the race at Chicagoland Speedway, fighting just to stay 3 laps down. We go NASCAR nonstop. You're watching Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway. This telecast presented by Steel.
Rick, it has been an exciting stage one. We saw Clint Boyer go up and take the lead. Well, guess what? If you're a fantasy player like I am, like Dale is, NASCAR Fantasy Live, it's a great place to come. You can even join a league now. NBC, we had a 10-week league. Somehow Rick won it, Dale. I'm not sure how that happened, but it reset this week. You go to NASCAR.com/NBC Sports Fantasy to join up. You can compete against me, Dale Jr., Rick, and Dale, I hope that my kid is watching. He's managing my thing. He better put Boyer in the garage after that start. Kelly.
Well, you'd sure be happy if you had Eric Almirola on this 10 team on your fantasy roster as he looks to inherit the lead once the cars ahead of him come to pit road. Remember, his first year with Stewart Haas Racing, his crew chief, Johnny Klossmeyer, said he's really seizing the moment. Their game plan for these next 10 races ahead of the playoffs, he said it's all about points, points, points for us. We want to make sure we maintain a good points cushion to get in. But hey, how about if they could get a win here in Chicagoland and put the points situation out of their minds?
That would be huge. Right now, it's Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman that still have not come to pit road yet. So they have completed 56 laps, and they haven't been on pit road.
So why are they not pitting, Steve? I mean, this seems like, the whole field's just putting so much time on them when they come to pit road. They're probably going to be a lap down.
They are, but you got to remember, they should hopefully be able to get their lap back at the end of the stage if they put themselves in the position. But here's the problem. They were a lap down before the cycle started. So their only way to really save themselves, they were 19th and 20th, a lap down at the start of the pit cycle. Stay out. All of this time they're staying on the racetrack. They're on the lead lap. They have track position. A caution would have saved them. I don't mind the strategy because remember, they're going to pit. We know 20 laps later the caution is going to come out. They can either do the wave around or perhaps do the free pass position. We've seen this. You got to do something different. We say be aggressive. This is aggressive.
Yeah, Steve, you can't. The beauty of this call is they don't have winning race cars, right? So they can't call the race like you can if you're, Eric Almirola or Kurt Busch. You've got to do something completely different, correct?
Well, I found it interesting. It's two RCR cars. Like this is a conversation they must have already had, or the way they're breaking down the information. There is a reason that they're doing this. They have some sort of information that feels this is their best strategy. As we're on board with Kyle Larson. Junior, you talk about running the top. You said this guy does it as good or better than anybody.
Yeah, Kyle Larson's back up top, running that high line. He's above this seam going in the corner. And the higher you enter the corner, the sooner you can start to feed that throttle. And then the real advantage of running top is the speed down the straightaway. The guy on the bottom's trying to get back to the throttle, and he can't because he doesn't have the forward bite. The guy on the bottom has a little more side bite, a little more side force, a little more drive off, and will carry a little more speed off the corner and down the next straightaway. And just kind of keep doing that over and over and over and over. You see him gain off the turn two, and down the back straightaway he gains on him all the way. You just keep doing that over and over. It's all rhythm. Kyle Larson, the best. I'm not even going to say one of the best. He's the best at running the top.
Right now, Kyle Larson running in the 5th position. But again, there's Austin Dillon. He has decided that it's time for him to come to pit road. That means that Almirola, because Newman also coming to pit road, Almirola will be the new leader.
Teammates hit the road. This is the 3 of Austin Dillon. He said that his car is loose in turns 1 and 2, but it's a little bit better in turns 3 and 4. They're going to give him 4 Goodyear tires, make an air pressure adjustment.
So we got some 2-car radio that sort of helps explain. The spotter giving Brad Keselowski the information about where Kyle Larson's running and how to improve his high groove. Let's take a listen to that.
You come off the wall on the entry into 1 a little more than Larson does. That's really the only difference. That'll be good info. Keep talking to me about entry to 1. 4. His left sides are on that top seam, and he never comes off of it. He goes in and just rides it right around the corner. His radius of entry never changes off the racetrack.
So he's telling Brad that Brad's running the top at this particular time when we had that radio transmission. He's telling Brad Larson's getting in just a little closer to the fence. Larson stays on the fence, really, down the straightaway and into the corner. And there's a little bit more to be gained there if you can do that and commit. The only thing is early in the race, do you really need to commit that much?
Well, that's the point. That entry, you've always said that entering that high is the most difficult thing because there's no room for error. Any sort of slip, any sort of slide, and you're into the wall.
Great battle for second. Kyle Larson had used the high line to try to get by Kurt Busch. Then he goes to the bottom of the racetrack to actually make the pass. Almirola out front. He's got a 2.5-second lead over Kyle Larson and Kurt Busch. Nothing like attending a NASCAR race, and this season they have been treated to amazing performances, and more dramatic moments are sure to come. All you have to do, visit NASCAR.com/tickets to purchase tickets and make new NASCAR memories at an upcoming race near you.
Rick, you talk dramatic moments. My new booth mate here, during that green flag cycle, it was all dramatic. He didn't know if he should be watching pit in, pit out. So what do you think? The view from the booth, crazy, isn't it?
So far, that's been the toughest part of the job, is going through that pit cycle, because I've lived it from inside the car. I come down pit road and I come back out. I don't know why guys are further ahead or further behind. I just go with it. But that right there was impressive. To watch you guys sort of dissect everything that everybody was doing. There's so many different strategies. I got a lot to learn.
Well, that's the beauty. This view up here, we're spoiled. It's like sitting in the stands. You can see the whole place, and there's racing all the way around this 1.5-mile track. Some great racing right here. We see Truex all the way up in third, started towards the back, great recovery, first on pit road. Now he's kind of settled in, right? With only 11 laps to go on the stage, now it's talk to Cole Purr and keep adjusting on your race car.
Yeah, he knows he's not got quite as good tires as these guys because he came in so early, so he can be calm. You know he's got a great race car. He's got the track position he needed. Impressive to see Almirola doing so good. And the other thing, too, here we go. We got an in-car shot. What is that, 157?
150 whatever.
153? 153, man.
I told you the booth is a good place to be.
Yeah.
So look right here.
Yeah.
He's driving 153. He's in the corner right here, so it's very busy. But on the straightaway, it looks like he's moving his hands around, either trying to get. There you go, out the window.
Oh,
now, can you feel that as a driver?
You know, you don't do that. Yeah, I mean, if you're racing at a normal racetrack under normal conditions, you don't think about doing that. That tells you right there how miserable he is. He is so miserable that even though he's trying to focus on the car, run the line he needs to run, he's going to stick his hand out the window to get some cool air. And he's not really getting a ton, but he's trying to get anything he can get.
Well, he needs to, hey, put it in perspective. That's 155 degrees. Medium rare steak. You take that off the grill at 155. Also, I mean, it is cooking in that car.
On the right side, you got a little vent down here. See that? That's coming from the passenger side window blowing in there, and he's not feeling that either. I mean, these guys are suffering through this. I'm glad I'm not out there. This is probably the worst I've ever seen it. I've never seen temperatures we've had temperature thermometers and everything inside the cars for years and never seen temperatures this high.
Well, and we talked the fans, why they've come out, and we appreciate it. They're in shorts, T-shirts, having a cold beverage, but these race car drivers, look what we have to do. Ryan Truex was nice enough so we can get a little sneak peek. Dale, explain all of these items he's putting on.
All right, he's got the Nomex underwear he's going to keep put on there in his suit. He's got a head sock, his helmet, his gloves. I mean, that's a lot to be wearing in this kind of temperatures. I mean, the interior of the
You
car.
wear that to the beach?
Yeah.
And remember, guys, yesterday during the Xfinity race, which is 100 miles shorter, there were guys losing over 8 pounds during the race.
We got guys in this race today that ran that race, so they had to somehow put all those fluids back in their bodies overnight. If they were smart, they would have went to the infield care center and got an IV and did that. That's the best way to do it. Dave.
So Kurt Busch not running bad right now. In fact, fairly relaxed. You notice that just sticking the hand out the window. But when he was passed by Larson, he just informed the crew very calmly, the back is not sticking. We've kind of lost grip overall, but it's all good.
So you talk about those double-duty drivers. Let's talk about Chase Elliott in the 9. He didn't have the best car yesterday. He worked extremely hard behind the wheel. We saw him get out after the Xfinity race, just how gassed he was. You mentioned it this morning in the meeting. He has to go get those fluids. But the question is, will he know during this race if he's ready to run 400 miles?
I mean, you don't. You just go out there and try to do it. You can see right here climbing in. I mean, he was smart to go get those IVs and those fluids. I think that, when you go through something that these guys went through yesterday, you might as well go get checked out in the medical center and do whatever they need. Get in there and get you feeling good. I talked to Elliott this morning. He said he feels like a new man. So we'll see if that brings through with the end of this race. Dave.
And the suit that he was wearing yesterday did not function, the vest I should say, it's called a chippy vest, did not function the way that it was supposed to, and Chase told me this morning that he believes it's fixed for today. The problem with that suit, and it's not the kind that we showed you on our air this week that Jimmy Johnson wears, it's a little different. The problem is when the chippy vest is not blowing air through it, it does heat up, and he says that definitely contributed to the problems I had yesterday. So far, so good for Chase as far as heat goes today.
I used that vest a little bit last year. Jimmy Johnson introduced it to me. It's got a little gel chemical that runs through it. It's amazing when it works. The only thing is all these teams really, they use all the amperage in the cars. And this vest doesn't use that much. I mean, it's only a couple, 7 amps or so, but they use so many amps to get these cars to handle well with the fans and so forth that sometimes when you overload these cars during the race, something's going to start cutting out. And typically they wire the system, believe it or not, so that the interior driver comfort stuff fails first. Believe that or not.
Right? I made that decision.
You had mentioned the drivers that have run in the Xfinity Series. 3 of the drivers that ran yesterday are in the top 9 right now, including Kyle Larson, who won the race, currently running second. Let's listen into the 48 radio.
Gets up to us, you tell him to block. If he starts to go down the bottom, you tell Jimmy to go down the bottom, just park it. You got it.
There you have it. Race leader Eric Almirola coming up behind the 48, and you just heard it. Block him. Well, it didn't work because Almirola is going to go by, trying to put that 48 a lap down.
He's going to fight for it. I mean, you got to. Not much of a fight there off of the corner, but Jimmy's car's just not driving well enough for him to really put up much of a fight. I mean, it's obvious he's getting lapped here by Eric, and Eric, the SHR, they've been fast. I mean, Team B was flying earlier. We're going to see off of turn 2, man. Jimmy just wheeling it. And that's the thing, man. If you got a car that's not driving that well, that's when you get time to think about how miserable you are inside that car.
And amazingly, a little over a year ago, Eric Almirola suffered a compression fracture in a crash at Kansas. Now he comes out of turn 4. He's going to win his first ever stage in the Monster Energy Cup Series. Almirola wins stage 1. Almirola, Harvick, 1 and 2. For position back there. 4th, 5th, 6th. 4 wide now for 5th.
Got to know it's Kyle Busch. He's going to take that outside. That's his MO, man. If he's on the outside line and he can make it 3 wide or 4 wide, he's going to try to do it.
How about that run by the 4 car through 1 and 2? He did not get a good start, but he flew through 1 and 2.
Kurt Busch had a little trouble through the bumps there and got tight underneath Brad Keselowski. We got a great battle for the lead.
Harvick's trying to take it away from Almirola. Harvick on the inside. Can he complete the pass? Almirola strong on the outside as they go to 1.
Harvick can stay right there. I think you'll have the advantage in 3 and 4. I think the bottom is better over there. Good job by Almirola. Yes,
holding off Harvick. And remember, they're teammates.
Not now. I mean, you got the lead. Somebody's trying to take it from you. You don't care who it is.
Almirola, Harvick, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Chase Elliott, the top 5.
We've been waiting on this performance from Almirola all year long. I mean, he's been sitting there being consistent, but not running in the top 3, not getting the same type of dominance that we've seen out of his other teammates.
Junior, remember, he was a half a lap away from winning the Daytona 500.
Absolutely, but since then, he's sort of been just right inside that top 10. This is what we want to see from Eric. And this is what Eric wants to see. So it's a career day for him.
But he's driving away from arguably the best driver this year. You got Martin Truex Jr., you got Kyle Busch, and certainly Kevin Harvick. So right now he's driving away. Junior, that feels so good, doesn't it?
It does. It does feel good, but it's early. You got to hope that, your car still has that dominance late in the race. This track's going to change a little bit. He's got to keep up with it. He knows his teammate Harvick, those guys, Rodney on the box. They're smart. They know exactly what they need to do the rest of this race. His team has yet to be able to prove that.
Junior, you just mentioned that Almirola is having a career day. He has already led more laps today than the last 3 seasons combined. So that's how good Almirola is running here at Chicagoland.
Marty.
Hey, Rick, what's missing from this picture of the top 5? That's Kyle Larson, who was running second when he came to pit road. When he came to a stop in his pit stall, Denny Hamlin was behind him. Again, Denny Hamlin and his team didn't pass inspection. They were assigned that stall. Hamlin could not get out because Kyle Larson was sitting there because his car completely died electrically. You can see the dash goes black for Kyle Larson once he's in the stall, so he didn't know what to do. He has since gone out. You see him there turning on the master electrical switch, trying to refire the car. They were able to get him back out. He was able to cycle the ECU. He is back up to full power now on the racetrack, but lost a ton of spots here on pit road. Junior, I can't imagine what it's like coming to pit road and all of a sudden everything in front of you goes completely black. What's that like as a driver?
Well, these cars have changed so much over the years. The protocol on what to do when that happens is often unknown by the driver. So the driver has to get the information from he has to relay really what happened first and then try to get some information from the crew chief. Hopefully the crew chief knows what to do.
Well, I was going to tell you, and then once you tell me, I look at the motor guy, and I find him, and I say, okay, I know I'm supposed to remember all these codes and situations, but come help me, because there are so many different functions within that dash. You definitely need an
He used to just
expert.
switch to the second ignition. That's not there no longer.
No.
It's going to be fun. I mean, Kyle Larson doesn't like this, but it's going to be fun for us to watch Kyle Larson use these different lines to get himself back to the front. He came in second. He's back in 12th right now. So you can see right now, Junior, you keep talking about above that seam. Well, early in this run, he's already gone there. Look at the run he's going to get down the back straightaway.
Man, that's fun. To me, that's some of the funnest thing you do behind the wheel of a car in the Cup Series is running that high line. And the tracks that provide it, they're the best ones, man.
Closing in on the 88 now of Alex Bowman.
The one thing that I've heard from Kyle, though, is he doesn't feel like he has to run the top as much this year. He's talked about how his cars are better. And then he thinks that people are saying, hey, you run the bottom more often. He says, well, I can now. Last year I was forced to go to the top to make that time.
Look how close that is right there.
He's entering the turns at over 180 miles an hour, and he's about a foot away from the wall.
Yeah, the closer you run there, the higher you enter, the more quicker you can get to that throttle and the more speed you carry off.
Just to be clear, the closer I am to the disaster, the better I'm going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you that I thought that I was really good at running a high line, and we came here a couple years ago, and I saw Kyle out there in the race going in higher than me, and he would actually get to the end of the safer barrier and turn right because the safer barrier goes away from the car, and then there's a little bit of a gap to the fence. So he would drive to the fence. As soon as he got in the safer barrier, turn right, get back on the fence, and then enter the corner. And I'm like, that's insane. Why is he doing that? I tried it. I ran faster. So I mean, the more you can widen that entry, and it's dirt. He learned. I mean, I don't know because I'm not a dirt racer, but I believe that he's learned that. That's what you do on the cushion when you're running dirt. You see all these dirt guys are really running that high line the best. We saw it yesterday in the Xfinity Series.
There's a battle for 6th as Eric Jones had it, and Joey Logano wants to take it away, and Logano easily gets by the 20.
There you go, Logano. He's one of the guys that I picked to run well today. He was sitting there inside the top 10, just inside the top 10, but Penske cars have been fast all weekend.
Still out front, it is a Ford party. Almirola, Harvick, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, all in the top 4. Enjoying Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway. This telecast presented by Steel. And let's listen in to the 18 radio and just see how Kyle Busch feels about his car.
So I lost count. Is that 8?
I don't know, but it's a lot.
I mean, Kyle's such a great communicator with his team. But when things aren't right, he's going to, we used a scale, 1 to 10, right?
Well, we tried. There were days that you went off scale. That would be off scale.
He just says words more often, and that's why his crew chief knows that that's a serious concern. He doesn't wait. He doesn't mince.
That's right.
You're going to get what you get with him.
But listen, you and I talked about that. I would tell you, listen, I don't need pleases and thank yous. Just tell me what I need. I don't have time for all that other stuff.
No filter. Don't sugarcoat it.
Well, guys, I talked to Kyle this morning, and he told me in one word. I said, how's your car? Junk. That was the answer. And I'm like, I mean, listen, Steve and I have done this for a long time, Junior. We hear that every day. They all tell us, well, my car's no good, and we're not going to run good, and then they all do. But he said it, and so far he's right. They just have not been close.
Kelly.
Rick, they've been a little bit more descriptive at times over the 18 radio. A little while ago, Kyle saying that he needs more grip. He said, if there's a car 15 lengths in front of me, it just lifts up the front end like 6 inches, and I just lose the front end. I've got no grip. And then Adam Stevens said, look, I've got no interest in running 12th all day. When you bring it to me, we're going to work on it. Well, guess for the running, 12th.
Yeah, and surprisingly, there's two sides to Kyle Busch. Obviously, the racing side where he's very frustrated, but there's also the fan side. If you are parked in the infield of most racetracks that we go to, you might surprisingly have a Kyle Busch autograph on a flag. If you're a Kyle Busch fan and you've got it out there, he will go at nights or when he has an off time, when he's not on the racetrack, he'll go around and meet fans and just sign autographs and say hello and say thank you. So there are definitely two sides to the driver of the 18.
He talked about the car lifting up, the nose coming up when he got behind guys. So what that tells me, if I'm a driver, is that when he gets in dirty air, when he's lacking downforce on the nose, the shocks aren't holding the car down, or either the stops are too soft and they're pushing the car up. What is that? What can you do for me, Steve?
Well, it can't be just a sensation. So first, let's talk dirty air. So dirty air, you're driving down the interstate, you go behind the tractor trailer. Everybody's done that. You feel it move your car around. That is the tractor trailer in front of you disturbing the air. Well, that's 70 miles an hour. Imagine 180 miles an hour. That wake is unbelievable. That's the dirty air you're talking about. So unfortunate part, to your point, is adjustments. I have a whole list, but they're all in the garage. New shocks, new bump stops, different chassis settings. During the race, though, other than some air pressure and perhaps just freeing the car up, overall balance, there's not a lot I can do. The one thing I would be asking, what are your temps? Tape is free grip. If we can put a little tape on the grill, that's what I've been looking for out of the 18.
And on such a hot day, very difficult, you would think, to try to restrict the amount of air that gets to the engine.
A lot of these guys will, practice and sort of understand where their temps are and see how aggressive they can be. And then during the race, the crew chief will ask every 20 or 50 laps, what's the temps? Can I add more tape? Because tape is going to make the car faster. Downforce on the nose is going to make the car better. If they can add some, they'll push it. They'll push the temperatures to some unrealistic numbers to try to improve the drivability of the car.
Well, there's already some green tape on the nose of the 18, which tells me on a pit stop they've already got one piece. You see it right there, that bright green tape? That right there is what they're adding. But here you go. A little tape on the grill, but you see it in the front of the car bouncing around a little bit at this rough, difficult track.
under 10 laps until we'll see green flag pit stops. Let's get a few updates. We'll start with Kelly.
And we'll start in the front of the field there with Eric Almirola. We've been talking about this group and how well they've gelled this year. When I asked Johnny Klossmeyer about it, he said, look, a lot of us have worked together before. He and Eric know each other from back in the DEI days. And he said, we're all about the same age. We have a lot of the similar interests on and off the track. So this is just a group that's really come together. They enjoy working together. They have good laughs. And it's paying off also with some success here on track. Behind him is the Ford Kevin Harvick, his teammate. Remember, he ran the Xfinity Series race yesterday, finished second. And when I asked him what he could take from that race to today's race, he said a lot of things, including kind of a rhythm that he gets to out on the track. He really learned the nuances of it, all the bumps. Those were valuable laps yesterday.
Here comes Harvick. Harvick on the high side now, and he's trying to take the lead away from Almirola.
Harvick has changed his line in 1 and 2. He's moved up the racetrack, and that's been working for him. He's inched up to Almirola. He seems to be better now. Now he's trying the middle of 3 and 4. This is where Almirola's a little better than Harvick. Even with lap traffic, Almirola didn't lose much right there, but on the other end of the racetrack, Harvick's changed, and that's how he's running down.
Work by Timmy Hill in that 66, but Almirola now is going to search for some clear racetrack, maybe split these two lap cars, and he will right through the middle.
That's a smart move by Eric. He knows he's got cars on the high side and the low side, so he drove through the middle. Gained a little time there on Harvick. It's how you get through these lap cars is what's really going to matter, whether Harvick gets an opportunity to take this position.
So how do you do it? Now Almirola lost the bottom. Harvick was able to carry around the corner longer. He's going to get a run down this front straightaway. Harvick's car is just handling a little bit better right now.
Eric's spotter is telling him where Harvick's running. Eric's probably watching where Harvick's running. Here comes Harvick with a great run through the center.
A lot of momentum that time as he entered turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch. He has the momentum, but not able to get to the back bumper of that 10. Let's see if he can do it through the middle of 3 and 4.
It's just a matter of time, especially with Harvick running that higher line. He's got it figured out. Eric has been on the bottom, but if he goes to the top, he needs a couple corners to sort of set that up, get in a rhythm there.
And
there he goes.
Yeah, now moves up the racetrack, so he'll try to take that line away.
All right, so now Harvick has to change his line. He doesn't want to run directly behind Eric because that's going to be in dirty air and he's going to lose the nose. He didn't gain anything there because of the line that Eric ran. So very smart by Eric to try to move up a little bit, feel that out. He moved up just a little. He likes his car on the bottom here, though, so he's not trying to give that up. He doesn't think he can get any better on the top in 3 and 4. Like you said earlier, Jeff.
Yeah, Junior, I think the interesting thing is for Harvick right now, he's trying to anticipate where Almirola's going to go. So he wants to go where he isn't. So he saw Almirola the lap before go to the middle, so he's going to try something else. He went to the bottom, but it's not going to work. Almirola's just a little bit strong.
That's right. I think that move by Eric to try to, that was a smart, gutsy move. I know it doesn't seem like anything big, but it really is, because look at the difference now. Since Eric's moved to that middle groove in 1 and 2, he's gained a little speed, and he's sort of balanced out this battle, really ended it. Marty.
The window is open, guys. Green flag stops happening. Joey Logano coming to pit road. He told Todd Gordon, he said, I think chassis-wise we're not that bad. I've been sitting in traffic. That's my biggest problem. So Todd Gordon made the call to bring him to pit road early here. You see Martin Truex Jr., Cole Byrne making that same call. That paid off for them last time to get those fresh tires on. Denny Hamlin also leaving pit road. He told his crew, don't have any more problems on pit road. Remember, they got blocked in last time by the 42. All these guys wanting to come as soon as they could, including Kyle Larson. No mention of those electrical problems. He drove from 16th to 7th, but on his own on the racetrack, so no changes to that 42 car. A little bit of an air pressure adjustment, but no chassis changes to the 42. And so far, no issues here this time either when he comes to a stop on pit road, Kelly.
Well, we saw Kevin Harvick trying to make a couple moves there on Eric Almirola, just couldn't get to him. Kevin Harvick's been saying throughout this race that he is just too tight to begin with, but he gets better over the long run. It's going to be 4 tires fuel and an air pressure adjustment for the 4, Marty.
Brad Keselowski spent that entire run in the 3rd position. He said the car is just way too tight on entry and on exit. A little bit long on the right side for them. You see that wedge adjustment being made. Also an air pressure adjustment trying to free up Brad Keselowski in that 2 car, Kelly.
Eric Almirola continues to lead this race, but he'll bring that 10 Smithfield Foods car to pit road. He seems like he's been pretty happy with this 10 car, although I did hear mention of a potential air pressure adjustment for the rear of the car. They're also going to give him those 4 fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel.
Now the real race for this lead is going to be when the 10 comes off of pit road. The 4 is already on the racetrack and up to speed, just coming out of turn 4. We'll see how close it is. Again, those two are fighting for the lead before these green flag pit stops.
There's the 10 car on pit road, and here comes the 4 car. So the 4 car pitted a little bit earlier, which means he had fresher tires, made some lap time up, and goes by Eric Almirola for what will eventually be the lead once all this cycles around. So obviously Almirola, because this is a big gap that he got him by. It wasn't a little bit, so this is more than just fresher tires. I think Harvick may have gotten on pit road a little bit better, maybe had a better pit stop. That's a big gap.
Green flag pit stop cycling through. Right now it's Jamie McMurray that's out front, but Harvick wins on pit road. There's a yellow flag right there, and we also have one on the racetrack. The first non-stage yellow flag that has come out.
Well, Steve, who is the big winner in that caution?
This could not be a bigger break for Clint Bowyer. Clint Bowyer was down 2 laps after the pit debacle in the first stage. All those speeding penalties, he ran 72 laps, down 2 laps. Great call on top of the pit box, the leader's pit. We're going to stay out as long as we can, hope for a yellow. He got a yellow. Let's take a listen in.
Back in the game, boys. Way to fight there, driver. Appreciate it. Those are some blazing times.
He heard it very well. Debris is the reason for this caution, by the way, Steve.
Rick, I bring it up because so many times we think it's a great pass or a great pit stop. Sometimes it can just be a little lucky break, Dale, right? Good strategy and a lucky yellow can change your whole day.
That's right. Puts him right back in the game, and he's got his 3 teammates in first, second, and third place. I mean, they're fast today, so he's still got a chance to win this race.
Field approaching the Geico restart zone as we get ready to go again. After this, the second caution of the day. How are the 2 tires going to work? Ryan Blaney trying to hold off the 31 on the outside. He doesn't have fresh tires like the field behind him. Here comes Almirola. A little wiggle as he goes by Newman. Kurt Busch on the outside. 2 wide for second. Almirola has it. Here comes the 4 of Harvick. What a pass on the bottom of the track.
Surprised that 2 tires are doing as well as they are. I mean, if I'm coming down pit road, I'm getting 4 tires every time. At least I'm begging for them. I can't believe they took 2 tires, Steve. What's the call there?
Listen, I'm shocked. I didn't agree with this call. I thought you had to have 4 tires. I didn't think staying out would work. I didn't think 2 tires would work. Ryan Blaney is proving me wrong, putting a nice set of laps together. Now it's obvious Almirola is catching him quickly, Marty. But at this point, it's just about track position.
Steve, it's also kind of where you were running before. Ryan Blaney was kind of stuck back around 10th or so and just really not making the progress he thought. So he told Jeremy Bullins, listen, if I can get up front, I might have a shot at it. So that was the call for 2 tires. As long as I don't go back further than 10th, it's kind of a win for this 12 car.
What makes that gamble possible is it's a defined run. They know it's only 26 to go to the end of the stage. This is how stage racing has changed the calls.
And you got to have a good enough car to be able to make this call. And they have the belief in what they've seen in their car and the speed they've seen in their car to do this.
Look at this move by Kurt Busch, jumping up on the outside, trying to catch these 2. Will he make it 3 wide? I thought he had a big enough run to try to do it.
Big wiggle there out of Ryan Blaney, allowing the 10 of Almirola to get by, but here comes Kurt Busch. Busch takes over second as well. Almirola back out front. Kurt Busch running second. Now, Ryan Blaney trying to hang on. Just behind him, Kevin Harvick. And the guy who's been running right up against the wall, Kyle Larson, back there in 5th.
He heard him have to pedal. He heard him come off the throttle. He got tight, lost the bottom, and he had to come back off the throttle. Kurt Busch did to keep him getting into the wall.
While this is going on, Eric Almirola, man, he's putting down some laps, driving away from these guys. Harvick back in 4th place, kind of stuck behind Blaney. Blaney's only got 8 laps on those left side tires, so that's why he's hanging in there pretty well. So Harvick's going to go to the top, try to get a run off the turn 4 to be able to try to make the pass down the front straightaway. Doesn't gain quite enough. A little bit of a run here. But this is good for Eric Almirola, because I think that he feels Harvick is his toughest competition right now.
He's going to look a little bit further back and maybe think Boyer might still be some tough competition, because Boyer, after getting back on the lead lap, has moved up to 15th already.
He 15th, and he ran the 5th fastest lap on the racetrack. That last lap, way back there in traffic. And Jeff, the further back you go, the tougher it is with that dirty air to make time.
Oh, it's so much harder with dirty air trying to get up through the front. But Clint Boyer, what he's gone through, this is great, man. He's been 2 laps down, spent a ton of time 2 laps down. It's like having a new life, a new chance to make something happen. So he just feels good. He's not going to be complaining a lot right now.
That lap right there, he's 4th fastest of the field, and he's in traffic passing cars. I mean, once he gets up in clean air in the top 3, maybe the best car here today.
13th to 12th now as he just went by the pole winner.
Everybody's up to 3rd or 4th place right now this time. They keep mowing them down.
Keep mowing them down. That's exactly what Clint Boyer is doing.
We got a unique camera today in the 4 car with Harvick. We're going to look down here at the pedals, see how he's using the gas, the brake, and all that stuff. I've always watched Kevin for years. Back when we had an association with them at Hendrick Motorsports, we'd get the information to be able to see his laps and see what he's doing with the throttle, and I always was amazed by how much throttle he used and how throttle. It comes off real slow. That's really slow. A lot of guys pop that throttle hard, and he'll obviously get feathering that throttle back down, trying to get drive off at a rough and slick racetrack. But he lifts kind of slow, and I think that it's because you set the car easier. It's critical for him to set the car on the stops real smoothly.
Well, these cars don't want to change directions. They also want to change speed. If you jump out of the gas, it changes how it handles. Kelly?
Hey, Steve, there could be trouble for the leader, Eric Almirola. Have a listen.
How many to the stage? 23 to the stage. 22 now. I got a loose wheel, pretty sure.
They said it looked like they got everything tight when they watched the video down here, but just now Eric said it's getting really bad. I've got to come in. So we're going to have to see the leader, Eric Almirola, come to pit road to fix that loose wheel.
So, Steve, these guys, oh, here he comes. He's coming to pit road. He's sure that he's got a loose wheel.
He just ran the fastest lap of anybody the last lap, and he thought he had a loose wheel.
Yeah, but I like this call, Rick. We've already seen Clint Boyer make up 2 laps. It's early in the race. Don't stay out there, damage the studs, potentially end your day. Eric Almirola is a race car driver. He knows what a loose wheel feels like. Come down and live to fight later in the race as they stop in front of the box there, Kelly.
And Eric Almirola actually tried to feel it out for a couple laps since he first reported the loose wheel, but that last time around he finally just said, look, it's getting so bad, it's really bad in the turns. We're going to give him 4 fresh good years, and now he's on his way.
Man, that's incredible that he was able to still run as fast as he was with such an issue, because when that wheel becomes loose, it affects the grip, it affects the balance of the car, and it scares you. You know, you think the wheel's going to come off at any moment. And that's one of the toughest calls that a driver will make during the race. Do I come down pit road? Is this really a loose wheel? Had I slung a weight off? A driver doesn't want to come down pit road, leading a race especially, and give up all that track position and find out that that was not a loose wheel. But Steve, these guys have all kinds of technology now, pressure sensors even, that when they know that the wheels are tighter, they know they got lugs tight. So tell us about that.
Well, it does. Basically, they can look at the air pressure that goes through the gun and see every time they tighten the lug nut, it shows up in data. But I like the call. Listen, that's a moment in time where you build trust between driver and crew chief. And even though I have the data, I'm not going to argue with you. If you feel it's loose, I'm going to commit to you. Whatever you say, if you come to pit road, we're going to believe you.
Yeah, I think too. You know, part of that equation for that decision was how many laps till the stage. That's what you heard him say, right? If they would have said 5, you'd have wrote it out. But when they told him the number, he said, I can't go that far. And that is, Junior, I think that is the toughest decision to make. Leading a race and coming down pit road, not 100% knowing, you have to trust yourself, though, and make that tough call.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is if they do find out that they did have a loose wheel, a very smart call by the driver. And one of the reasons why is because if you stayed out and did even make it to the end of the stage, I mean, that's great, but you can beat up the studs on that loose stud. You can beat the stud, beat the threads off of it, and then you don't get the next one right. You got it. Yeah, they're going to keep getting loose. Every wheel you put on there is going to come loose.
Well, the one thing you want as a driver when you make that call is you want someone to tell you there was something wrong. Look at Greg Zipadelli looking at this tire. He sees something.
Monster Energy Cup Series Racing from Chicagoland Speedway. This telecast presented by Steel. Battle for the lead continues to heat up. Kurt Busch in front of Kevin Harvick. But Kurt Busch closing the gap now. Harvick right on his back bumper. Kurt Busch closing that line down, trying to make sure that Harvick doesn't have an open line to get by. Again, teammates, but when they're out on the racetrack, they're fighting for their team. 8 laps to go.
I was just getting ready to say that. Only 8 laps to go. This is for a stage win. See Harvick once again changing his line, trying to anticipate what Kurt Busch is doing. That's so hard, and Kurt Busch knows that. Kurt Busch is going to change up and get him something different every lap. Now he's got a little bit of a gap, Junior, so now he just runs wherever he thinks he's the fastest. Don't worry about what Harvick's doing because he's far enough back, but when Harvick gets a little closer, then you try to take his line away.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is get a little distance as the leader, as Kurt did. He can try different lines just as he did in that corner. He can move up a little bit and see if that's a little better without worrying, sacrificing a loss of position here.
Hey, Junior, Kurt Busch has stage points in every race except 2 this season, including 2 stage wins. So they've been very good at running up front, and once again, Kurt Busch trying to hold on to what's his.
You guys just got word. Sorry, Rick. I just got word. We can confirm that was a loose wheel. Kelly went and confirmed it on the 10. So great decision by Eric Almirola in a pit. And actually, in this position, he's in position for the free pass. So great decision. Shouldn't hurt the rest of his day.
With only a few laps to go in this stage, it looks like Almirola will get the free pass. Get himself back into this battle for the win. Continue his career day.
They're lucky, these two out front, though, are lucky that they can't see in their mirror the 42 who has been riding along the wall and closing the gap every lap. Kyle Larson has been very strong in this stage, at least the closing laps of this stage, closing in on these top 2. Currently running in the 3rd position now as Kurt Busch pulling away just a bit now from the 4. Marty.
Yeah, Rick, and earlier when he came to pit road, at that moment he went out 16th, drove his way to 7th, restarted this run in 7th. Now he is in 3rd, running the high line, running the low line, everything. Jeff, that is a difficult thing to have to come back through the field kind of twice today for Kyle Larson at 42.
That's what speed will do for you, Marty. It allows you to recover from problems. And this 42 car, along with the Stewart Haas cars, they've proven to be the fastest cars all day long. And we see it with Boyer. He had a little bit of a break, but now he's driving himself up. Will we see it from Almirola? Going to drive himself back up, being able to recover from these problems.
I tell you what, Jeff, I'm going to give this a call. The race so far, Jeremy Bullins in this 12. As good a call as it was for Clint Boyer to get back in the lead lap, this call might pay off for Ryan Blaney. Running 10th, Marty reported. They decided to only take 2 tires. They started as the leader, but they've only fallen back to 5th. That's plus 5 spots, Dale. That's free 5 spots for the driver.
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, with 8 laps on the tires, worth a gamble. I didn't think it was going to work out for them. I thought that but they've shown speed. They've shown enough speed to be able to utilize that clean air early in that run as they were in the top 2, 3, and 4. It's paid off.
And I'm taking notes. If I'm a crew chief on pit road, about 8 laps on the left side tires seems like works okay, Jeff.
Yeah, I thought that was a great call. I didn't think it was a good call, but it's proven to be a really, really good call. That's a tough call, this kind of racetrack, because the track is so abrasive and it eats those tires up. Almost like Darlington is what it makes me think of in Atlanta. Another guy, Ryan Newman, they stayed completely out. They didn't even pit. He came in 19th, and when he was running 19th when that caution came out, he's 17th right now. So both of those guys make difficult decisions, and I think it's going to work out for both of them.
There's 1 and 2. And now the white flag comes out one more time around for stage 2. This is the final lap of stage 2.
Big run.
Here comes the 4 on the high side with momentum. It'll be a great battle as they go through 3 and 4. Kurt Busch is going to be able to hold off Kevin Harvick.
No.
Through the middle of the track.
He ain't.
Harvick, momentum. Can he keep it up? The Ford takes him all the way up to the wall. And Kevin Harvick's going to win.
Wow, that was awesome.
Man, I love stage racing. That was awesome.
That was so fun. I can't help it. I'm trying to stay quiet there.
It was jumped up on the outside and he gave him no room, pulled all the air off the side of him, you know, with the stage win in hand, he didn't run up there by the wall. He got his left side on Kurt Busch's right side, pulled the air off of him, stole that win.
The closer.
All right, field coming into the Geico restart zone. Harvick on the outside, Kurt Busch on the inside. A little help from the 78. Martin Truex Jr. is going to shove the 41 into one.
Harvick tried to get back to him, but got tight off of turn 2. He's going to have a battle. He's going to have his hands full with Larson, who's back in the mix.
Larson able to clear Harvick. Harvick now trying to get back up to speed.
Harvick's not in his preferred line. He wants to be on the bottom. He knows that's where the speed is on the early part of the run. Really surprised that Kurt got as good as a start he did, and Truex, the guy in the second row, that was critical to be able to help Kurt get down into turn 1 and get the lead.
All right, crew chief, are we going to see this stage get broken into equal parts?
Well, I think that's the obvious choice. It's basically 100 to go. You run 50 laps, you come to pit road, put 4 fresh tires, run 50 more. It's pretty simple to call, unless, of course, we start to get a few yellows and it gets complicated.
Yes. Keselowski a little bit outside of that 12 of Ryan Blaney. Here comes Chase Elliott in the 9.
Chase having a pretty good day. This has been a great track for him. Finished here second last year, the year before third. Expected him to have a pretty decent day.
That move by Hamlin.
Taking the air off of the 12. The 12 of Ryan Blaney got sideways.
Hamlin aggressive to the bottom and just drove to the back of the 12 car, trying to take the air off the back of his car, and he did. He just couldn't quite make the pass, but Clint Boyer filled that hole.
Here comes a race for the lead. Kyle Larson to the inside, all the way down to the grass. Larson trying to take the lead away. He does. The 42's in front.
This is a little bit different than yesterday. Larson didn't have the early run speed. He does today. I mean, if he needs to go fast at the start of the run, you can see he's got the speed. He's got to have a lot of confidence in his car. On the long run, he's going to have the top.
Oh, the 78, the big slide.
Tried to make the pass, couldn't hang on to it. Here comes Kurt Busch back again, trying to hang on to second. Now Kevin Harvick has got back up to speed. He's in his preferred line, fighting for that third spot now.
Well, they didn't want to let Larson get too far out. His speed out front's probably large, so they need to get this settled between the 3 of them.
Jeff, to go back to what Dale said, if I'm Kyle Larson's crew chief, I want a car that is good on new tires because I think he can help me on old tires by going to the top of the racetrack.
I didn't think Larson had the early run speed. He didn't have it yesterday, but he still won the race because he could run well on the long run on the boards, and we're seeing it right now. He's talked about it. He loves the way his car's been running this year, being able to run the bottom more often.
Race 3 aren't finished.
Oh, man, this is a great battle.
Harvick just takes second away.
Kurt struggling just a little bit. Balance his car's changes a little bit since his pit stop. That happens. Sometimes you don't make any changes. Your car can be a little bit tighter, a little bit looser depending on the set of tires you get on.
And we heard his frustration at the end of that stage with Harvick going around him on the outside. Now his car's not handling well. That frustration is not going to go down. It's only going to get higher.
Kevin Harvick a little bit faster that lap. He's going to try to track down Larson. He's coming.
Harvick doesn't want Larson to get too far out in front of him. Right now it's 0.4 seconds. The gap between 1 and 2. Kurt Busch back down to 4th. He's 1.2 seconds behind race leader Larson.
Well, you called him the closer. This is Kevin Harvick in a nutshell. His career has been about the second half of these races, and you can see the 4-car has made improvements. Even earlier in the day, he couldn't quite reach Eric Almirola. Then it was Clint Boyer. Now look at this, Rick, to the outside of the 42.
And this is something that Kyle Larson hasn't seen a lot of. Somebody going higher on the racetrack than he's going.
How will he react? Will he move up the track? He's been using the bottom of 3 and 4. Harvick's going to do basically what he did in the end of that last stage and try to get his quarter panel, but can't make it happen. Will Larson change his line down here in turn 1 to combat what Harvick's been able to do to close in?
And remember, they're doing this all while it's over 150 degrees in the cockpit of these cars. It's been over 2.5 hours already they've been racing. Still, 92 laps to go, and they're fighting for the lead. Here comes Harvick to the inside. dives to the inside through 3, and Harvick takes the lead away.
But Larson immediately went to his high groove. He didn't go to the middle. He went to the top, thinking that was going to give him this straightaway speed to make a challenge, get back into 1.
Got a great run here, but he's not going to be able to really do nothing with it. He's going to go to the bottom here. He's committed to that bottom. I'm really surprised because we know Larson loves the top. I'm just waiting for him right here to put it on the boards in 1 and 2 and take the lead back.
It's going to the boards this corner. I can back guarantee you. I'd be shocked if he didn't go up to the top in 3 and 4. No, he doesn't. He goes to the bottom.
Dives down to the bottom with the 42, and the caution has come out. The 11 of Denny Hamlin
Fired up, leading in 4.
coming out of turn 2, turned around and inside on that inside wall.
Get rolling here.
This is frustrating because I left Denny in my lineup.
Oh!
Kyle is in the garage. I know that was probably a terrible move.
Tires, leaders in 1.
Kyle Busch should not be in anyone's garage. Let's count on Denny today. Hopefully he rebound.
Checking to see if the tires are flat spotted, he said.
Now let's take a look inside the car from the helmet cam and see what happened. Get down, he's running the high side. He's up against the fence here. On the seam, he's got the left sides on the seam. Going back to the gas, he's loose. He just gets loose up there. That was really interesting because you expect to have a lot more lateral grip up on the high side running that line, and I wonder if he had the left sides on that seam just a little bit too much.
Explain the seam. You talk about the seam. That's just like tar they've put in where the pavement separates, and they kind of catch you. They're slick for the car to go across.
Yeah, if the tires touch those seams, we've heard that they're a lot worse than they've been in the past. As this track ages, that's what you'll have. It's very similar to Fontana off of turn 2, and you don't want to have a tire on those seams for an extended period of time. It doesn't look like the left sides are there, but maybe the left front was, and it actually gained a little bit grip or hooked the car somehow.
Logano on the back bumper of the 10. Now he dives to the inside. He'll try to take the lead away as they go into 1. Two Penske cars, 1 and 2. Keselowski out front. Logano running second.
4 wide down the back straightaway. It's a tough situation for Eric. He's lost a ton of spots here, getting put 3 wide by Logano, but Logano wasn't going to push him like Truex has been pushed the 41 on the last restart. Logano's going for it. He's aggressive. He wanted that lead.
Whenever you have a guy that stays out on tires like that, somebody always gets stuck behind him. In that case, it was Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer now back to 12. He just could not get around his teammate out there. Some new players up front.
Dale Jr., I got to hand it to you. All weekend, you've been talking 22 and 9. Here they are.
Who's up front?
And Kyle Busch. Remember he said how bad his car was?
Plowing.
Many plowings, and now there he is.
Well, it gave him the critical amount of information he needed, they needed to make that adjustment.
Plowing. Critical information.
Drivers. Just had a bad stop. They just had a bad stop on pit road, so he's going to have to work his way back to the front.
Harvick going around the 22 on the outside. Harvick has been aggressive. He has been taking spots away from people. He took 1 away from Kurt Busch, and that spot meant that he would win stage 2. And now, running through the middle of the racetrack, he sets his sights on the 2 of Keselowski.
Ran about the same lap time this past lap, but Harvick's obviously closing in here. He's got way more speed. Brad on the old tires. Won't be long before Harvick's back in the lead. But nobody behind him with new tires is coming along for that, coming along on that train. So Harvick's going to be able to put an impressive lead here on the field if we get a lot more laps to go.
Yeah, with 82 to go, that's scary, right?
Yeah.
He can tell, here's the move right here. Look at how much momentum he carries off the top. Brad tries to hold him off.
Brad was sliding up so fast that Harvick had to lift because he didn't know whether Brad was going to take him.
So he didn't lift for him. He left to leave
He's
Brad.
like, whoa. 2 cars coming up.
Yeah, Brad Keselowski got loose at 5 of the racetrack. Harvick saw it, but Harvick still takes the lead away from Keselowski, so it's Harvick, Keselowski, Logano, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch. He says 15 minutes out. Right now, there's some crew chiefs that are looking at the radar because there's a weather system that is coming in from the west and southwest that could potentially affect if we get the rest of these 81 laps in.
Yeah, Rick, you talked about weather. I've been kind of watching it. You can never take the crew chief hat on, and it's a pretty impressive line of thunderstorms. And, you know, it only takes one pop-up shower. As you see the two Penske cars here battle. Obviously, the 22 of Joey Logano has better tires. So we've been hearing a little bit of that on the radio. One pop-up shower can change the course, and I think that's some of the reason why we're seeing the intensity. You see right here, Dale. I mean, it's normal Midwest, right? Thunderstorms in the Midwest. You see how defined that line is as it gets closer. Obviously, the racetrack right there in the circle.
And Steve, I think that adds to the strategy of Kevin Harvick right now because he needs to build as much space as he can. Because if you start having to make a decision, are we going to pit or not under green because the weather's coming? That makes that decision easier. Making gap between first and second gives the crew chief a little more option.
And the thing, if you look behind Harvick, who's behind him? Where's his teammates? Those are the guys that have been up front all day long. They've had trouble. And now we got 50 cars, Kyle Busch and those guys, but they haven't been able to keep pace with him, so Harvick's driving off. Hardy.
And Junior, to add to the weather, it's gotten a lot windier, and you see the cloud cover as well. And a lot of drivers saying that's changing the racetrack. So that's something you got to throw into the mix too, Steve, right? The weather is coming. The racetrack is changing. Certainly a lot different than when we started this race. Much cooler out here.
Well, my experience is as racetracks cool, the front tires gain grip. Maybe that's what's helped the 18. We heard, 9 plowings between adjustments. The track might be coming to him because the 18 is no longer a mid-pack car. He has worked his way up. This pass from the 22 will be for the second position.
Kyle Busch trying to take that high side. A little bit of a fire on the 3 of Austin Dillon, the right front. He is on pit road right now.
Yeah, that's a situation right there. Looks like a brake problem.
Yeah, I would agree.
You know, it's hot. It's hot here today, and these brakes are going to probably suffer more than they've ever suffered all year long. Guys are going to have brake issues. These cars don't have a lot of drag, don't have a lot of engine braking. You're going to have to use the brakes to slow the cars down. Obviously, they haven't had their package built around cooling it enough. And
well, this guy right here, the 42 of Kyle Larson, he complained about brake fade in practice.
Sure did.
So this isn't new for everybody as he makes a big move going around Chase Elliott.
Some guys are lucky to have that issue in practice and be able to adjust. And unfortunately, it looks like Dillon's going to be pushing his car behind the wheel.
And look who else is coming into the picture. Just behind that 42, the 78. We started the show off talking about the big 3, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr. Well, right now they're running first, second, and sixth. And Truex Jr. is still on the move.
Now, Martin keeps having to dig himself out of a hole. They had a problem on pit road this last time. Restarted 12th. He's driven up to 6th. Remember the start of the race, he had to start in the back. So they just keep having to go to the back and clawing themselves back toward the front, Marty.
And Jeff, it's really a product of the fact that they did not pass inspection last night. This team left the racetrack after 10 p.m. They finally passed inspection at 9:51. So those guys, along with Jimmy Johnson, Chris Buescher, and Denny Hamlin, all had their pit stalls given to them by NASCAR. They didn't get a chance to select them. So they're mixed in with the 42 and all these spots. And every time down pit road, Truex and I'm happy because they seem to get blocked in. They seem to lose spots. So it's a constant battle, and it sort of penalized the 42 as well. They're all kind of losing spots every time they come down pit road just by being around cars that they're running around on the racetrack.
The gap between Harvick and Kyle Busch, 3.2 seconds. It's the Overton's 400 as we go NASCAR nonstop. 69 laps to go in Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway. This telecast presented by Steel. Harvick still out front, 3.4 seconds in front of Kyle Busch. Larson running third. Martin Truex Jr. up to fourth. Joey Logano is fifth.
That's what Kevin Harvick wants, right? This is where he's so good. Those left side tires right on the white line. He does this at Atlanta. He does this so many places where he just, parts of the racetrack, here he's in the top, but in 3 and 4, he's just digging on the bottom, Dale. And that's, I think, his strength. I think that's where he's his best.
Yeah, I knew he was probably going to get a big lead here, but I'm watching Kyle Busch in second place, watching the lap times. Kyle's actually faster than Harvick the last lap. They've been kind of swapping speed back and forth every lap, so if we do get an opportunity to bunch the field back up, Kyle Busch has moved into the picture here, as well as Larson back in third, also has amazing speed.
Dale Jr., the big three. We've talked about him all weekend. Why did we talk about him? Look at this. This is the big three coming into this race right here. Most wins this season. The numbers are out. Unbelievable. 5 for Harvick, 4, 3 for Truex Jr. Top fives, double digits for all of these guys. Every track you go to, they're exceptionally fast, especially the 1.5 mile tracks. How about the laps led? They dominate all categories, 4th, 2nd, and 4th. And oh, by the way, playoff points, they are killing everybody in playoff points. We saw Kevin Harvick score another chunk with that stage win. This was coming into that race. And oh, by the way, now they're 1st, 2nd, and 4th. They seem to always end up there.
There's a reason they're called the Big Three this season. And when you look out the windshield or off the top of the car here of the 4 as it comes back to the grandstand side, you can see blue skies, but you can also see what looks like rain. So that's why these crew chiefs continue to look out over the grandstand and look off to the west to see how soon will this potential weather get to the racetrack. Will it get here before the end of the race? And will it get here before they have to come to pit road again? Because, Steve, they can't still make it to the checkered flag, can they, with the amount of fuel they have?
No, they can't. They're absolutely going to have to pit. Remember, we've seen this play out once already this year. Rain really came into play at Michigan, right? Well, that's where Clint Boyer decided, I'm going to get a little track position, race to the rain. Who did he beat? The leader, the 4th, Kevin Harvick.
Just what you're talking about at Michigan. Kevin Harvick to pit road.
There's the decision right there. You see Clint Boyer takes 2 tires. That lets him start. But then he closes it on the racetrack with 2 tires. Look at this move right here. Dale clears the 4 and was able to just run enough laps until the rain came.
There it is. Second win for Clint.
Second win of the season for Clint Boyer. But now it's all Kevin Harvick. Harvick out front still has that 3-second lead over Kyle Busch.
And you see Kevin Harvick, he's got a 3-second lead. He's not just riding around. He was sideways in the middle of 1 and 2. It's the only way you go fast. Isn't that right, Junior? You cannot just ride around. You've got to push your car to the limit. You may get another pit stop. You got to find out where your weaknesses are, how the track has changed, and keep communicating that to your team in case you do get a pit stop.
Well, if he knows who's behind him, he knows Kyle Busch is in second place, and Larson, who I see is running the boards again, you know 3 seconds ain't a big enough lead. And these guys, like I said, are running laps just slightly quicker than Harvick. That last time by, Harvick had a little trouble with traffic. Kyle Busch was 3/10 quicker and chopped that lead down to 2.8 seconds.
So at this point, are you wanting that interval? I mean, I would always normally give it to you if you had the lead, try to manage it. But you would come over at times, I don't need any more. I know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different, but I wouldn't want that information lap after lap. Get annoying after a few laps to hear, unless I'm just driving away. I mean, by all means, tell me that I'm driving away from him. But if I'm losing time, just try to allow me to maybe tell me why I'm losing time, where they're running. Are they running a line that I'm not? It might be costing me some time. Have they moved up? Because I know Harvick can't see him in the rearview mirror, so he needs that information that the 42 car has found a lot of speed running on the top of both ends. Give me that information there. And usually I get that from my spotter, DJ Majors. Maybe you guys talk a little bit about that and share that information on a different channel and then relay it to me.
Exactly.
I believe for Kevin Harvick, I don't think he can trust his pit crew, Steve. I think that you're looking at potential green flag pit stops. Although, here we go. Here's
Corey
the caution.
LaJoie got into the wall and slow on the racetrack. That brings the caution out. So now it will come into the hands of the pit crew.
And he's already in the fence there. Don't really know whether he had a right front tire obviously going down before that, or maybe just got into the wall trying to run that high side. Got a little. It's late in the race. It's hot.
Yeah.
I mean, if he didn't have a flat tire, doesn't look like it was flat, but it's late in the race. It's hot. Running that high line, you're going to make a little mistake here and there.
55 laps to go.
Kyle Busch he's already a car length ahead by the time they get to the flag stand.
Logano dove all the way down to the apron trying to take positions away. They didn't have a good pit stop. He'll try to make up some of that ground.
Truex and Keselowski on the outside. Making tough on Harvick down here.
Harvick trying to clear Truex. Truex on the outside trying to take that spot away.
That inside line has failed.
And Kyle Busch trying to check out. They can get to the end now with fuel, right, Steve?
Yep, fuel's not an issue. They go all the way to the end on fuel, Rick.
And they definitely, a lot of teams don't have any more tires. No more new sets of tires.
Yeah, we got a report by Marty Snyder. The only teams I'm aware of that still have a set of tires left of a 31 and a 2. So if there is another yellow, Rick, that could come into play.
One other guy that we know now has a set of tires also is the 17. He's in 14th position of Stenhouse Jr. He also has the same.
Eric Jones able to get by Chase Elliott. He drops back just a bit. Logano trying to get by the 20. He will clear him and get into that 5th position.
So really, I mean, if this race, it's 53 to go. If it goes, 20 laps here, and we get a caution, those guys with that set of tires, they're going to win the race.
Oh, yeah, it's game over at that point.
Well, you say that, but there's a lot of cars for lead lap.
Yeah, but Jeff, I think they're all going to pit for cool tires. I think they're all going to come from cool tires.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You think they got
right
tires?
We'll take a rewind.
Almirola all the way to the grass, trying to get by Clint Boyer and Chase Elliott. He's going to make it as they go into 1.
Remember how good of a day it's been for Almirola. He's led more laps today than he has in the prior 3 seasons. He's looking to get back to the front with 52 to go.
Almirola up to 8. Kyle Busch has a 4/10 of a second lead over Kevin Harvick. And Marty, the 2 of Brad Keselowski currently running 4th.
And Rick, you never know when a race might be won. Paul Wolf made the call to not pit when everyone else pitted at lap 178. So that means they have 1 extra set of tires versus the rest of the field. But is there a problem on the 2 cars? Kyle Larson tries to pass him. Take a listen on the radio.
I got a loose wheel here. I just see what I can get. 6'5", loose rear wheel. It's not undrivable yet.
Not undrivable yet. Junior, walk me through that. You know you've got a loose wheel. You're trying to hang on to it because you know you have an advantage on the rest of the field if this thing runs green and we get another caution.
There's a lot of things to think about there. If he has to come down pit road to fix a loose wheel, there goes that advantage. There goes that set of tires on the car that would help him win the race if we get a caution here 10 or 20 laps. But it's very scary to be out there on a wheel that could fly off your race car. That's what the potential is. And Brad knows that he has to decide that. He can't get information from the crew, or they're not going to tell him. They don't feel it. They don't know how bad it is. His crew chief's not going to bail him out and say, "Come on down, buddy. If we're just going to go ahead and do it." You got to be the one to make that decision. Whether the wheel's about to come off, how long can you go? And it's tough. I mean, it's just a really, especially this late in the race, you just 49 to go, and he knows the advantage he has in that set of tires back in the pit. It's going to help him win this race should they get a later call. He knows that situation, so that makes it even harder to have to come down pit road. Basically, he doesn't want pit.
Well, back up front, we see Kyle Busch is still leading the first laps he's had all day, and Kevin Harvick is trying to do something different. Now, Kyle Busch has been a little bit quicker than Kevin, so Kevin's got to try something different. So we've seen him running a different line in 1 and 2, just like all day long. If somebody gets out front, you're going to have to try something different. Right here, you're in a bad spot. Eric aerodynamically, the wind's coming off your car's not got the downforce, so you've got to try something different. Right now, he's gone back to the bottom. Can he run Kyle Busch down? He's had the best car most of the day, but now that Kyle Busch has clean air, Kyle has the best car.
Kelly.
Oh, man, we could have problems again for the 10 of Almirola. He reported a loose wheel yet again. Before it was a left rear that had come loose, so they called him down to pit road to give him 4 new tires. These are going to be scuffed tires to see if that fixes the problem. But, man, for a driver who was leading this race, he's had to come to pit road 2 extra times to fix the loose wheel.
Kelly, it doesn't do any good at this point, but you have to ask yourself, did the original loose wheel damage something that has now caused a second loose wheel? In the end, it doesn't, it's self-inflicted. These are the types of things the 10 can't do. When you want to outrun somebody like Kyle Busch in the 18, you just have to have a clean race.
We talked about how the heat might affect these drivers mentally. Well, what about the crews? Is that why we're seeing potentially some loose wheels where maybe the crew's not hitting all 5 lug nuts because of the temperature and what it's been doing to it?
Rick, it's impossible to say why. We haven't seen a lot of loose wheels lately. We have rashed them today, but without a doubt, you're absolutely right. Just like Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and some of the drivers, most of these pit crew guys work both the Xfinity race and the Cup race. They are in those same fire suits. They're sitting down on pit road in over 100-degree heat index. Very easy to lose focus, get dehydrated, not be at your best.
Kyle Busch in front of Harvick and Truex Jr., the big 3, the top 3 right now in Chicago. We go NASCAR nonstop. Watching Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Chicagoland Speedway. This telecast presented by Steel. You didn't miss anything here. This great battle for the lead. Kyle Busch out in front of Kevin Harvick. Harvick searching around the racetrack, trying to find grip, trying to find a little extra speed, and it's working. Now he's all the way to the back bumper of Kyle Busch.
He's gone to the top, the very top in the middle of both corners, and it's just helped his exit speed so much. Watch right here as he goes down the front straightaway, how much ground he gains on the 18 car.
We're watching 2 of the best in the sport duke it out right here for this lead. Kyle's going to change his line right here. Look what And then Harvick's going to change his line. Harvick sees that, kind of prepares for that, and he knows as he's getting closer to Kyle that Kyle's watching, and Kyle's going to change his line. So he's prepared to make an adjustment on entry if he needs to, and he did just there.
All right, Junior, what's the best place for the 18 to put his car? Does he want to be right in front of the 4 every time they enter the corner?
Well, I think that he sees the speed the 4 is making up top, that, he wants to go to the top. I thought Kyle made a lot of great speed over the last run against the fence, so he knows, and I know, that he can get up there. And there he goes. He's right against the wall. He's going to find speed up there, and just like we've seen in the past with Eric Almirola and other drivers, he's going to end this battle right here, man, because he's going to find speed up high. I didn't think he'd run the middle there because the bottom has been so dominant in 3 and 4. You can see Harvick makes a lot of ground running the bottom there, so Kyle may end up going back to the bottom of 3 and 4 after this lap. But 1 and 2, there's a lot of speed for Kyle up against the wall. He knows that.
Let's listen into the 18 radio.
He found some speed 1 and 2 now. Entering between second and third seam, sliding across and straddling and leaving.
This is a tough situation for Kyle. He had to come up underneath a flat car on corner exit there, didn't get to use the throttle. You see Harvick running the high side, gained a lot of ground there. Getting through these lap cars, really critical. Another lap car coming up. Kyle gets to use the throttle, open up the wheel off the corner.
Only 36 laps to go. Now 35, and the sun peeking back out, so hopefully the weather is not going to be an issue for the end of this race. And right now, a great battle continuing between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch.
I think what Kyle did a really good job of right there. He saw Kevin Harvick loose off the corner, but as soon as he got to the top lane, he went fast. He didn't have to learn how to do it. I think that's extremely impressive. Junior, it's so hard to change your lane and just all of a sudden find speed, but that's what he was able to do.
Well, they've been working at it all day long. It's really hard to do that at the start of the race in the first 40 to 50, 100 laps. They've been working all day long on that high side and they learned it pretty well. Look at the speeds of the line. Kyle Busch the fastest.
But see who's coming as we watch this battle. Truex, Larson. Larson is coming. Moyer is coming. If these guys continue to race, we're going to have bigger than a 2-car battle.
Coming to 33 laps to go. Harvick trying that high side 3 and 4. He sees that now Kyle's adjusted his line and Kyle's driving away. Well, I got to find something new. What I have isn't enough anymore. So he's trying that high side 3 and 4. He's determined to make it work.
So how much are you seeing? How much is Kevin Harvick getting from his spotter? Kyle Busch getting from his spotter?
I would assume they're getting a lot of information. You just never know. Sometimes, these guys have been working with their crews for a long time, their spotters for a long time, so they know what each one needs and wants. Ellie.
Well, I've been listening to the radio for both the 18 and the 4, and I can tell you, Kyle Busch in that 18 is getting a lot of the information that you guys are giving all of us, talking about exactly where the 4 car's running his lines, when he's making up time, when he's losing ground to the 18. On the other hand, when I switch over to the 4 radio for Kevin Harvick, it's mostly quiet, just very little input from his spotter.
Well, Kelly, the reason why is because Harvick can see it, right? Harvick can see if he's making ground or not. He also can look at his digital dash and see how fast he's running as far as the lap time, but he knows what Kyle Busch is doing. Kyle just doesn't know what Harvick is doing because he just can't pay attention to the mirror through the corner.
Kyle had to go to the bottom there for a lap car. Kyle probably would have rather ran the top, but had to go to the bottom there. It's going to give up a little bit of time to Harvick, who ran the top, but Kyle's found some speed.
Yeah, they're working around, but behind these two right here, I had mentioned the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. and the 42 of Larson. Well, Dale, you talk about running the top. You say Larson's the best at it. He's proving it here. Truex is stuck on the bottom, 42 running the top. Look at the momentum the 42 will have down the front stretch.
Marty.
It's been a day of making up ground for Kyle Larson, also Martin Truex Jr., but Larson trying to use that high line. And we talk about the big 3. I asked Larson, I said, how close are you guys in the 42 team to catching the big 3? He said, I think we're really close, but what a statement it would be if he could get his first ever 1.5 mile win. That would be huge, and maybe you would have to say the big 4 instead of the big 3. But Kyle Larson coming here late in the race, does he have enough time in 30 laps to get those lead
Right there, Kyle Larson was a 10th faster than the leaders. Making a pass on the 78 on this lap. Gave up a little bit of time there. But still faster than the leaders.
Yeah,
minutes, 3.5 seconds now. Larson is back. Does he have enough time with 29 laps to go? NASCAR nonstop. It has been very hot in this Monster Energy Cup Series race from Chicagoland Speedway. You see the temperature there, over 152 degrees inside the car. It has been a long time that they've been in these cars at that temperature. Make sure to stay with us after the race. 5:30 post-race, victory lap at 6, and the Dale Jr. download with Denny Hamlin at 7. They may talk about the Denny face, and I wonder what face Denny will make right now running inside the top 10. So the question is, does Kyle Larson have enough time? He has been running the fastest laps consistently over the past handful or more laps, faster than Kyle Busch, faster than Kevin Harvick. He's 2.4 seconds back, 23 laps to go in this race.
We went from a question to a heated discussion over in this booth. Dale Jr. didn't agree with me. I think Kyle Larson has the car. I think he's the best at running the top. I think he can run the closest without getting into the fence, and he is taking time off the lead every lap.
He is. He's gained a second over the last 6 laps, but he's got to pass Harvick. That's going to be costly and take some time. And his advantage, I believe, is going to get smaller and smaller. Like how much faster he's running than Kyle, it's going to get smaller and smaller as we get closer and closer to the end. The other thing, too, is that Kyle Busch isn't running where Larson's running. Once Kyle Busch gets more information about Larson, Kyle's going to find some more speed.
Did you forget who won yesterday? Who won yesterday?
Kyle Larson.
That's right. I'm telling you.
But he's running. I know, but he's running the top, and he's catching Harvick. But Harvick can run that line as well.
Yeah, but not down here in 3 and 4. This is the difference. Down here, Harvick goes to the bottom, Larson to the top. This is the end of the racetrack that gives Kyle Larson hope. Look at the clean iron on the nose. Look at the momentum he has. This is where Kyle Larson's going to go by next lap.
That's right. Kyle Larson is the only one that can make the top work at 3 and 4.
Think about the fitness, the fluids, the heat, what he's trying to do this weekend.
Look here. Kyle Larson went to the top, Harvick went to the bottom to go around the lap car. This is where he's going to lose his position. Harvick's going to come up and give him the lane because he knows that it's over.
And that's huge right there. There's no battle from Harvick, so there's really no resistance. Now the pathway to Kyle Busch is clean. I thought with you, Junior, I thought there would be a tougher time getting by Harvick, but that was easy with that lap car. That made it easy. So now Kyle Larson can see Kyle Busch. Man, here he comes.
Hey, we asked, who can disrupt the big three? Kyle Larson is trying to be the guy. First place, Kyle Busch. Third, Kevin Harvick. Fourth, Martin Truex Jr. The three of those have won the last 11 mile and a half.
While all that was going on, Kyle Larson's gained almost another second.
That's it.
He's coming fast.
1.6 seconds, the gap now between Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson.
Kyle Busch is starting to think about changing his line in 3 and 4. He's been running the bottom. Let's see what Kyle Busch does with his line. Now he's already starting to think about trying to defend and learn. He's got to learn before Kyle Larson gets there. He's got to find the speed before Kyle gets there.
You mean because he can't go there one lap ahead. He needs a couple laps to figure the top
He
out.
better find it out. He knows that. So let's see what he does down here in 3 and 4.
Let's listen into the 18.
The Larson P2 down, wall, both ends. He's running 30s here, you're running 50s.
Oh, he can't like to hear that, Dale. Yep. He's beating you. He's on the wall, and he's 2/10 faster.
And he ran the bottom there, which is interesting. He ran the middle the lap before, so he must have not liked it. But he's not committed himself to the fence, so I wonder what he thinks about running the fence down in 3 and 4 and if he'll get a shot. The other thing, too, Larson's running the wall. I mean, he's as close as you get to it right there. Can he stay off of the wall?
That's a great question because he knows he might have to pick up a little more speed to catch Kyle, and if he does and tries to run harder, can he stay off the wall? We've seen this with Kyle Larson. We've seen him late in the race try to step it up a little bit and get into the wall, damage his car. Now we're down 17 to go, 16 to go. I mean, he can see him. He's right there, but that's the difference. See how Kyle Busch enters the corner? He doesn't enter as high as Kyle Larson does. You've talked about it all day, Junior. You've got to push that exit as close to the wall as you can. The exit of the straightaway into the corner. Kyle Busch has not done that all day, and Kyle Larson has consistently done it.
Yeah, you got to pick. It's time to commit now. Larson is a second back. He's chopped down to a second. He's never won a mile-and-a-half track. He's finished second 6 times, so he's sick of that.
That's unbelievable. With a guy that's that good at the top, you would have thought he would have broken through at some point.
Beat him by just over 1/10 of a second right there. If you do the math, he's going to get there. The big question is when he gets closer to him and Kyle Busch moves up, does it take the air off of Kyle Larson and hurt his advance?
That advantage, his advantage of speed over Kyle Busch is going to get smaller as he gets closer to him.
But it's the same issue. I still think 3 and 4 is the key. They both run the top in 1 and 2, but Junior, 3 and 4, Kyle Busch is going to have to decide, can he stay on the bottom of the racetrack or does he have to defend up top?
Hey guys, yesterday we saw in the Xfinity race, he ran all the way up top to get the lead and then dove down to the bottom and won the race. So we saw him run both the bottom and the top yesterday. Does he have the bottom as an option if he gets up to the 18 and the 18 takes that high line away?
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can beat the 18 on the bottom. I mean, 18's going to have it. 18's leading the race. He's a fast car. You look, Kyle right there, Kyle Busch, he ran the top of 3 and 4. Kyle Busch is going to try to come into the top of 3 and 4. Let's see what he does the next lap. Did he like what he felt up there in 3 and 4? Is he going to continue to go there? That was a little slower. He actually lost almost 2 tenths to Kyle Larson that lap. He had one losing about a 10th a lap.
He was slower, but does that actually hurt Kyle Larson though? Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And
So
you see
what happened? That's right. Kyle Larson goes to the bottom because he saw it coming. He's going to take the air off my car. I got to do something different. So even though it hurt Kyle Busch, it hurt Kyle Larson also.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's the games that get played out there. And Rick, you talked about it.
He was faster there. It's 0.5 of a second now.
Rick, you talked about it. Larson, will he go to the bottom? If he has to go to the bottom, he will. He just showed you right there in 3 and 4. I don't know if he can win the race down there. I don't know if he can make a pass for the lead running the bottom.
Well, traffic, guys, out in front of Kyle Busch. I see 6 or 7 lap cars, slower cars, that Kyle Busch is going to catch. Now you see the 42 back up against the wall.
That's what, I mean, when Kyle Larson sees the whole team go to the bottom, big smile on his face.
You heard the information right there. What did the crew chief say? He likes the bottom of 3 and 4, top 1 and 2. Marty.
And Kyle Larson has asked for help with those lap cards. He told his spotter, he said, clear the top for me, clear the top. They got in the way one time and he had to dive to the bottom, so those lap cards could be a factor, guys.
Well, they will. There's a lot of them in front of these guys. They're going to have to navigate that. And I think that could play a huge role. I think it will play a role if he wins this race. He gets those lap cars a bit.
Coming up on 10 laps to go. These two have finished 1, 2, 7 times between Cup and Xfinity Series races. The guy who's always finished out front has been Kyle Busch. Could that change today? Kyle Larson chasing down that 18.
Good run right there off turn 2. You see the gap getting smaller. It's gonna, with the 10 to go, it's hard to get your mind in, hey, I don't have to get it all in one lap. You can't push too hard and make a mistake if you're Kyle Larson. But that lap traffic, that really hurt Kyle Busch right there.
Big time.
This shows you how good Kyle Busch is. He just went by Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's average finish at this racetrack before today, 2.5. Here comes the 42. He's moving to the middle of the racetrack now.
He's forced to go there because of the lap cars. The advantage the 18 lost to 3 and 4. He got it back.
Yeah, actually may have hurt Larson more than it hurt Busch.
Busch back to the bottom of the racetrack. Larson, his comfort zone up against the wall. Look at the momentum he has coming off the wall.
Big run right there. That was solid throttle. It's there in the corner by the 42, man. He is digging up there. It's a slick racetrack. We can't express that enough. Oh, he's going to the bottom here. Too.
How about that, Junior? Went to the bottom.
It surprised me. Because Kyle Busch has been running the top of 1 and 2, but he's entering about a car length lower, so there's still some good air on the outside of that 18, between the 18 and the ball, entering the corner for Larson.
Larson must just feel like he doesn't have it. Oh, he got
into the wall. The 42 got up into the wall, barely brushed it, but that slowed him down enough with 7 laps to go. All right, still a second.
I got the right rear pretty bad.
As a crew chief and a spotter, I want to hear that. If I'm Kyle Busch, I want to hear that the 42 just brushed the wall, so that can calm me down a little bit and I don't make a mistake.
See right here, he's just trying to run that wall and just oversteps it just a touch. Gets into the wall a little bit. Obviously had to be out of the throttle while he was in the wall. Didn't give up a ton of time with that, but with only 6 laps to go, it may be enough.
And Kyle Busch's spotter did relay that information to Kyle immediately. Said the 42 just wiped the right side of the car off, so Kyle has that information.
Yeah, that's going to calm me down. I don't want to. Kyle, he's racing 10-10s, man. You got to. But if I get that information, gives me a little confidence that the guy's back there making mistakes and running as hard as he can.
I think Kyle Larson's move to the bottom in 1 and 2 the lap before he actually got into the wall was the signal that he didn't think he was catching me fast enough. He had to try something different. So not only did he try to do something in 1 and 2 by running the bottom, he tried to do something different in 3 and 4 also. Tried to carry a little more speed, just crossed the bounds and got in the wall.
5 to go, he just dropped 2 tenths off his. He was 2 tenths faster right there. So this race ain't over yet, but laps are running out.
He's got to hope this lap traffic holds Kyle Busch up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Kyle Busch, 4 wins on the season already. 3 of those were consecutive, and again, now.
It's Newman, man.
Newman doesn't want to get past.
I mean, Kyle Busch is mad. That right there has set Kyle Busch over the edge. That Newman raced him off the corner and cost him the ability to get back into the throttle off of turn 4.
Here comes Newman again. Right onto the back bumper of that 18.
Expect the guys to give you a little bit more leeway when you're racing for a win.
Kyle Busch not too
but
worried
Newman
about him, though. He works
That's what we expect. He's going to race you no matter what.
3 cars directly ahead of him, including his brother, Kurt and Ricky Senhouse.
One of them's his brother.
Cars in turn 1.
What Kurt's going to do here.
Kurt Busch running side by
side, 2 by 2. He's running behind these guys.
Nowhere to go right now. They've also now got the rock jack. Kyle to the one. Here comes Larson trying to close it.
Larson now within 5, maybe 7 car lengths of the race leader, who's 3-1. Kyle Busch nearly gets into Ricky Senhouse Jr. trying to put him on lockdown.
Kyle Larson is coming. This is not over yet. The problem
now
is Larson now is stuck in traffic, and Kyle Busch will try to get away. 2 to go at the line. Separation now 10 car lengths.
Busch has to be perfect in lap traffic.
Larson again trying to get up to the wall.
Still may not be enough for Kyle Larson.
What kind of run does Racing lead off
bottom of the track. Kyle Busch by about 6 car lengths.
Kurt Busch right up in front of the 42.
Kurt Busch between the top two, but gets out of the way. Lets them fight it out. Here's Kyle Larson. He'll jump
Kyle
the
Busch
distance
again
down
on
to
the
just 4 car
Another
lengths in turn
opportunity
4.
for Larson at the top.
Kyle Busch at the bottom. Here they come off turn number 4.
Coming up.
One to go.
One lap to go.
Kyle Busch trying to hang
Here's
on
the gap
to
between
the
1 and 2.
today. He's
Kyle Busch.
It's down to 2 car lengths now. It's down to 1 car length. Here
Trying
comes
to take the
Larson.
lead
He
away.
dives to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to try to pull the slide down. He can't get there. They cut. Busch is in the wall. They get away and race down the back.
Still dead even, side by side for the lead and the win in Chicagoland. Kyle Larson gets up underneath Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch gets into the back of him. Both of them in the wall. Larson stays in the dead. He's simply lost. They're side by side.
He tries to say that Larson does, but it won't be enough. Kyle Busch racing back to the line, and Kyle Busch will score the win.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my man. What a race. What a great race.
That's what it means to win in the Monster Energy Cup Series.
Never give up, guys. Never give up.
Look at the thumbs up, though. Look at the thumbs up.
Respect.
Yes.
That's good racing.
Kyle put that big slide job on Kyle Busch.
And Jeff, he has to know that opened the door, right? That's where
right.
the thumbs up came from.
That's right.
The move he made on the 18 off 2, the 18 retaliated in 3 and 4. That's hard racing. I'd love to see that harder racing and a thumbs up from the guy who didn't go to victory lane.
Absolutely.
Kyle Busch wins in the Monster Energy Cup Series for the 5th time this year. Look at the right front tire's going to come off. The crowd went wild on the last lap.
We went wild.
Can he even do a burnout? The right front tire's not even on the car. He parks it right on the start-finish line. Kyle Busch. What an incredible performance. This moment presented by Sunoco, fueling victories all season long. The signature bow to the crowd after he grabs the checkered flag. Kyle Busch, 48 career wins, and what a career it is already. The 2015 Cup Series champion. Let's go to Rutledge Wood.
Kyle Busch hopping out of the car, grabbing that checkered flag. Kyle, that was a crazy race to the finish. You and Kyle Larson, he gave you a thumbs up as everything's going on. Man, how did that shake down there for you two?
I don't know, just I got really boxed in behind lap cars and got really slow. And then was just trying to get all I could there the last couple laps. And Larson tried to pull a slider, didn't quite complete it. Slid up into me, used me. And then I kind of used him as a little bit of a break getting into 3 and was able to come back for the victory, you know. So great thing for this Skittles Camry, all these guys. I mean, we were horrible today. Absolutely horrendous, and we just never gave up. We just always kept working on it, kept making the most of it, and got to where we needed it right there at the end, and was able to lead all those laps. And if it wasn't for lap traffic, it wouldn't even have been a race. I don't know what y'all are whining about, but if you don't like that kind of racing, don't even watch.
Racing all the way to the end. Kyle, we know how cold it is here. You kept saying plowing, plowing, plowing. Your team made the changes. You got back up front. Did you see Harvick when you guys started beating and banging just then? Did you think you could still make it to the finish line first?
I had no clue where third place was. I just thought it was a race between Larson and I. And, you know, when you start banging doors on one another, that's what it turns the race into, and it's fair game after that. So, you know, if he would have raced fair game off of 2 and not banged doors, then we would have been just fine into turn 3. But that's the way it goes sometimes. And proud to get ourselves another win here at Chicagoland. It's been a long time, and pretty cool going to victory lane.
10 years, he comes back to victory lane, Marty. That's Kyle Busch.
Rut, what incredible racing it was between Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. And then Kyle Larson, after the race, what was his quote? That was fun. So I know you might be upset, but hey, you said it was fun. What was the best part about that?
I mean, I'm not upset. I had an opportunity there to slide in front of him, and I figured I wouldn't clear him, or I would allow him to drive back underneath me. So I tried to get to his door, and you know, I opened the door for him to retaliate into 3. So I thought it was free game. You know, I ran into him first. He got me after that, maybe a little bit worse than I got him, but you know, that's all right. I love racing Kyle. I know all you fans are probably mad at him, but hey, we put on a hell of a show for you guys, and that was a blast. I had the top rolling there. I ran the right front off of it a little bit, you know, trying to run those guys down, and I mean, that's got to be one of the best NASCAR finishes of all time. I know I'm on the short end of the stick again, but you know, it was fun. So our CreditOne Bank Chevy was amazing. Not great on the short runs, but man, on the long runs, I could really get the top going. Was able to get the top of 3 and 4 figured out and really make up some time there. It was just a lot of fun. My team did a great job. Pit crew was on it again, so thanks to them. Thank all you fans for coming out. It was a hot weekend, really hot, but glad we put on a good show for you.
The fans can hear you. They were booing when Kyle came out of the car. You want to say anything to them?
No, I mean, like I said, I just want to thank all you guys for being fans of the sport, fans for all of us drivers. We really appreciate it, and man, that was a fun race. You know, it was. We both got our elbows up there. We ran into each other a couple times, and he came out the winner. So, you know, I think if roles were reversed, I would have done the same thing if he got into me off 2. So I probably would have ran into him into 3. So can't fault him for that. You know, that was just hard racing.
And just to clarify, Rick, what he said was, when I ran into Kyle Busch, it was open door for him to run back into me, and one of the greatest finishes in NASCAR history. That was awesome.
Absolutely incredible battle, all the way to the checkered flag. Let's hear from him. He's down there in victory lane, a makeshift victory lane, and Kelly.
And of course, the first priority there, the family, wife Samantha, son Brexton. The Skittles were flying, the NOS Energy drink flying there. Kyle, first you had to go toe-to-toe with Kevin Harvick, and then it was Kyle Larson. And the way that thing played out, is that what this sport is all about?
Yeah, it is. I mean, tried to pull a slide job and didn't quite get it all the way. I don't know if he wasn't close enough to get it all the way. But when he got into us there, it got me into the wall and just killed my right side, and it was on after that. You know, it's just a race on who can get back to the checker flag first. And fortunately, we had just enough in this Skittles America Mix Camry to get back to victory lane. This Toyota Camry was horrible today, and we made the most of it. Adam Stevens and all my guys, they did a phenomenal job of the race adjustments throughout the entire race to get us where we needed to be there at the end, and got us. We got some clean air finally. My pit crew did a great job helping me there, and it was a way different race car out front. So again, thank Interstate Batteries, NOS Energy Drink, Cessna, Ream, Stanley, DVX Eyewear, Black Clover, and of course the fans, my fans. They're pretty passionate. They're pretty powerful for what we got going on with Rowdy Nation. The rest of them, I don't know what they're booing about. That was a hell of a race, so you got problems if you don't like that.
All right, from a race car that was horrible to one that made it to victory lane, that has the makings of a championship caliber team, Rick.
Absolutely, Kelly. And when he won the championship, he won 5 races. This was win number 5 already in 2018. Early on, it was Eric Almirola. Then it was Kevin Harvick, the 2 best cars on the track. At that time, the 18 wasn't any good. The 42, always good, always great along the wall. But in the end, it was the 18 who outduked the 42 to get the win here at Chicago.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.